this haunted house is going to be like no other haunted house.
Okay, I mean that's not. I don't think that's too bad. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the movie because there were aspects of the movie that I did like. Overall, it was
Rob's about to drop the hottest diss on Blumhouse ever right now.
I wasn't.
You're now watching Haunt Talk with your host Scott from Exploring Attractions and Rob from The Howling Hour, home for all things scary and spooky related.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Haunt Talk. My name is Scott.
I'm Rob.
And we are Haunt Talk. Today we are talking haunt. If you're new here, please subscribe with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like and check out all of our social media, including Rob, my co-host of social media, down below in the description, while you. But yeah, some fun stuff. We came off an amazing episode with our first guest.
Yes.
I would say the reception for that was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. A lot of positive feedback, a lot of insight to not only the haunt world, but kind of Six Flags specifically. Just the ins and outs and kind of what goes on over there as far as being a character. So there was really good episode and really good positive feedback from everyone from all walks of the haunt world. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I mean I can't wait to do more. We got some lined up already. Got some plans. I got some ideas going on. So excited about that for sure. And of course, speaking of Six Flags, I guess we could start off with the first topic today, which is this topic's going to be all over the place. Horror Nights, Six Flags, and big one obviously is the Imaginary review. So we're going to talk a little bit about everything, but let's talk about Scream Break. Give like details on exactly what's happening there. So it kicks off March 22nd. It is a special event. It is a scaled down Fright Fest, is what I would say. But what houses are returning, Rob?
Well, we have the Saw experience that we had at Fright Fest last year, and the Condemned house is returning. So it's supposed to be another like house party kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. So I've experienced the Condemned house as a Scream Break house, so I'm really excited to return there. I'm interested to see what they do with the Saw house. I'm from what they've kind of said or what's been kind of posted, it doesn't look like they're going to make it Scream Break-ish as far as like a party vibe, party atmosphere.
I mean, how would you for Saw?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is I was trying to think like, well, what could they do? But having Saw return, I think maybe if they add a couple things, it could kind of change it up from what we saw at Fright Fest. So
right.
I'm excited to see what if they change anything with the Saw house.
That was kind of an odd decision, to be honest. Bringing Saw out of all of them, I get it because it's an IP, so they want to bring more people into Scream Break. But yeah, it doesn't fit the Spring Break vibe. But I mean, it's gonna be cool to see it again because they are revamping it. And then I mean, this haunted house is gonna be like no other haunted house. Condemned House Party. It's literally like a fun haunted house is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But also on top of that, they're gonna have scare zones. I believe they are having a slider show. Don't know what the times are for that. And they're having, of course, entertainment. And all the coasters and fun stuff like that are open as well.
For sure. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if it's all the coasters, but I definitely I'm like 90% sure it's like at the very least half the coasters.
The right side of the park for sure.
Yeah, the right side of the park. Yes.
Which you have great coasters like Goliath, Wonder Woman, Twisted Colossus, all over there. So
yeah,
if you want to scream during the night at Scream Break.
Even like last year, you know what? And this goes too if you obviously with the party vibe and everything going on because they got some DJs throughout those sections of the park. Even to go ride the rides, it's a little bit less of a wait. So I think last year I went with a couple buddies and we just hopped right on Wonder Woman. Like I think we waited 5-10 minutes and we were just on it. So it's a good time to check out the rides if that's something you want to do too.
Yeah, and I mean obviously specialty cocktails and food and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess not really haunt related, but also what Six Flags is hosting is Flavors of the World, and you were able to attend that last year. I'll be able to attend it this year. But kind of give us a rundown of that. What is Flavors of the World?
Oh yeah, it's it kind of it's in the title right there. They pick different kind of kind of Thai food and more like an Asian style food, just different flavors from different parts of the world and give you a different taste, little kind of sample sizes. But they have, like, last year I think I had like some kind of like Cajun kebab, which was really good.
Cajun kebab.
And they have these like specialty drinks too, where it's different mixtures and different flavors. I remember having like a kind of like a mint style drink, and then more like of a very more like a taro, or I don't know how you say it, like taro kind of
taro.
Kind of taste for this other drink. Just the food, everything I ate was really good. Actually, I went with my wife Robin, and she bought, and we had so much food, and she bought another tasting card so we could have more food and have more drinks. They had boba and stuff like that. So just overall, it's a really good tasting event. So I highly recommend it.
The thing with the tasting events too that I always enjoy is, like, we're doing the Knott's one tomorrow, Boysenberry Festival.
Okay.
And like it says 6 tastings for $55, and while yes, you think that's a little amount, once you start eating and you start to fill up, you're like, oh wow, actually that was plenty amount. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've discovered at all these tasting events.
Because, and I think too, with the tasting events, they do give you a like you're saying, what was it, the tasting card that you're probably gonna get?
Boysenberry Festival.
No, right, but like how many tastings do you get?
6. And keep in mind the portion size. I know that's what you're going to talk about, but like Knott's portion sizes are huge. I don't know how Six Flags is.
Yes, well, I mean, I agree. I don't think Six Flags were as big as Knott's, but they definitely gave you, because I even remember this one booth we went to, the person working there asked, like, oh, is this for you, or is this for you, and are you sharing this? And I said, I'm sharing it. So they gave me an extra, like, an extra piece of whatever it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
To kind of share. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, if I was going to eat it by myself, I was going to get that regular portion, but they said, they were like, oh, you're going to share it? Oh, here's an extra one. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But with the tastings, I feel like I've been to a few of Knott's tastings, and they do a good job where it's like you can get like 2 or 3 food and tastings, and it's enough to kind of share with someone else, and also you still have a couple left over to get, because they do have specialty drinks as well. So the I love all their boysenberry drinks, and everything they infuse with boysenberry has been so delicious. So I think Knott's does a really, really good job of their tasting events.
I can't wait for Boysenberry Festival tomorrow. I absolutely love the boysenberry wine, which alcohol is not included in the tasting card. However, when it's a Boysenberry Festival, they sell it year round, but it just feels right to drink it during Boysenberry Festival. So little life hack, everybody, if you're trying to catch a little buzz at any Knott's event, like Knott's Scary Farm, the Boysenberry wine is the way to go. Number one, it is super sweet. So for all of you like picky drinkers out there, it's sweet. And number 2, I think it's probably the more on the cheap side as far as all the alcohol goes, with a higher alcohol percentage, and it tastes so good. Like, it is so good. But I don't know, have you ever tried it before?
You know what? I've never had the wine. I think one year my brother and me, we went with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and he tried the boysenberry beer, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I've tried the seltzer too, but I mean, seltzers all taste the same to me.
Yeah, I had a taste of the beer, and it was actually pretty tasty.
I honestly think, with a few exceptions, but all the boysenberry infused stuff is just automatically good.
Oh, for sure, I agree with you.
Yeah, we went on a kind of a sidetrack here, but you know what? We're Haunt Talk. We do what we want. But
that's right.
Something that you and I both watched this past week, or a couple of days ago, actually. Imaginary, Blumhouse's newest movie, and Rob and I have not talked about this. We have literally gave our general thoughts on it to each other, and that's it. We want to save it for the podcast. So I'm going to start off with my take on it, because I have a feeling we're going to have kind of different takes on it.
Okay, let's hear yours. Let's go.
So with me, I always judge Blumhouse movies based on Blumhouse movies. Blumhouse movies are B movies, if you will. They have high budgets, so they're not B movies technically. However, they're corny with also some surprise hits. This one surprised me a little bit. I expected it to be corny. I mean, any movie, in my opinion, any horror movie that gives away tons of jump scares and shows like the demons and stuff like that in the trailer is automatically not going to be that great. That's in my opinion. But honestly, I enjoyed it. There was a couple parts that I could take out. Like it felt a little bit long on the longer side.
Okay.
In spoilers alert, just by the way, spoilers alert, you have been warned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The imagination like scenes were a little bit too long for me.
Okay.
But I mean, the storyline was good. I would say it's a solid 60% Rotten Tomatoes scale for me. I wasn't disappointed, and I wasn't like amazed.
Okay, I mean that's not. I don't think that's too bad, and I really don't think we're too far away from each other. Actually, I would give it a pretty similar score. I'm gonna agree with you. I feel like the movie ran a little too long.
Yeah.
And especially when we get into the imaginary kind of world, I feel like it was dragging out a little more. It could have been maybe five minutes cut off that runtime towards the end. But I will say the ending is probably what I enjoyed most about the movie and that imaginary world, and that's kind of where we see the big, kind of cheesy but also creepy looking Chauncey.
Dude, that was so corny, but yeah, he does look creepy.
Yeah, it's so. But that's the thing. It was like I was looking, I was like, you know what? It's corny, but at the same time, it definitely, it's so corny, it is creepy. But
yeah.
I mean, for me, it's trying to. I didn't really. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the movie because there were aspects of the movie that I did like. Overall, it
Bro, I was
was
about to drop the hottest diss on Blumhouse ever right now.
I wasn't. I know. Like you said, I know what I'm getting to in Blumhouse. But sometimes, here's the thing though, is sometimes they give us really good cheese,
right?
And so good that
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, sometimes you forget it's so good at the cheesiness of it. It becomes a good movie, and it's like, oh, okay, well that's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
I really had high expectations for Imaginary, and I wanted it to be like this because the concept of it, like these imaginary friends, and then the lore that they kind of tell in the movie, I was like, and I think I'd mentioned this, just like, oh, the kind of the story building as far as imaginary friends and where they come from and throughout the history and how they work, and as you get older, you kind of like lose them because of this reason and that reason. It's like, oh, okay, but I just think they didn't really go into that. The acting, very cheesy. Just certain things about it. I was like, they're being a total teenager. This is how teenagers act in horror movies. And I think really overall for me, I think the rating, the PG-13 rating,
Yep.
more hurt it for me because they couldn't really cross that line into being scary and gory.
As gory, yeah.
Right. But I do think there were little things, like I said, like I was like, okay, I saw potential here. Like a lot of the imagery, especially like when you see something in focus and there's something behind them, like out of focus, but they really didn't do anything with that.
I will tell you, for Blumhouse's standard, it seems like the ones that have a good storyline don't necessarily succeed. Black Phone, yes, you could say it was a good storyline. Black Phone is one of Blumhouse's best movies, in my opinion. I'm even wearing the double feature shirt.
Yeah.
but it was just a basic story. It's a dude who kidnaps kids,
right?
And it turned out to be amazing.
No, I completely agree. I feel like Black Phone is more, and I don't want to say this because I do enjoy Blumhouse's movies, like. At the end of the day, Imaginary, the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? There are enjoyable things. Is it like one of the best horror movies or even one of the like okayest horror movies I've ever watched? Yeah. No, but there were things about it that were enjoyable. And I feel like, man, maybe I'll watch it again to kind of give it another opportunity. Maybe there's things that I just missed or whatever the case may be. But there were things about it that I enjoyed. But I think like Black Phone was more in like an outlier of what Blumhouse does.
Yeah, it's completely different. It was so serious.
Right. We're I feel like in like how you said, we kind of know what to expect from Blumhouse, and it's you get cheese, kind of camp, kind of some of the over the top like acting or just unrealistic things that go on.
Right.
And so for me, I had to take a step back and be like, you know what? Like I had, because of my expectations for Imaginary, I was like, oh, this is gonna be this and this really. But I was like, you know what? Let me step back.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I would be right there with you. I'm gonna say I would say like a 70. For me. So
So what Rob does is he talks shit on the movie and then gives it a higher score than me. I get it.
Yes.
I get it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yes, you're right.
But no, I agree. I honestly like I didn't walk out disappointed. Like I walked out knowing, like those were my expectations,
I think that was, we had two different mindsets going into the movie,
and I think that's so important with like anyone who's watching any movie's expectations versus reality.
Right, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's, I feel like the general consensus was that it was going to be bad and campy, but for the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, it was entertaining, so everyone was not disappointed.
You know what? I will say that if you're gonna watch Imaginary, don't go into it the way I did. Temper your expectations and just go into it blank slate and just enjoy the movie for what it is.
And it's very easy to get like excited about it because I was also excited. I mean, they did some amazing promo with like the experience in Hollywood. But yeah, it's just PG-13 and Blumhouse combined. That's how I saw it.
No, you're right, and that I think that was a big factor for me is I didn't pay attention to the PG-13. I didn't even know it was PG-13. Yeah, I had no idea the rating. I just assumed rated R. But that maybe probably 15, 20 minutes into the movie, I'm just like, I think this was a PG-13 rated movie.
And then you checked it.
And then I checked and I was like, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I'm gonna kick back and enjoy now.
Exactly. Just eat my popcorn.
The one thing though is it definitely. Especially with Blumhouse, they do this a lot, and I think a lot of horror fans do it, is will it fit in a Horror Nights house? And yes, it definitely has HHN written all over it. I said it in our first kind of reviews on social media. It has HHN written all over it. I do think that it has a possibility of coming. I don't think it's going to come this year per se, but down the road, I think it will eventually end up as a haunted house. You have Chauncey, the terrifying bear that you could use with the American Werewolf in London puppets, the I think they're in Trick or Treat too, but they've used those wolves like all over the place, like at least the actual puppet figure, and then added masks to them. But you have the actual Imagination that literally is spitting image of a Horror Nights haunted house.
Yes.
You have, I don't know, the other demons.
Well, you have the creature the spider creature that she has in her book as like the bad, I guess the bad character or
right.
So you have that kind of creature in there, and there's just, I mean, like you said, I was watching this movie, and as much as how I felt about it, I was like, definitely HHN written all over this thing. Where you said like the Imagination world. The basement. I mean, the basement. There's a huge like that's plays a big part in the movie. The basement and like the door
you can walk
into the
through
world.
Into the door like while you pass to the basement.
Yes, like there's HH. Even the maybe not be. It might not be so scary on the movie, but even the room that the little girl like was drawing in, when she was the adult to the little girl, like with all the crayon drawings everywhere. Even that, I
think that could still be scary because think of if they just like tone down the lights a little bit. We've seen it done before with the lights flickering and everything, and there's an actor in there, and then all of a sudden like the demon that we see behind her like pops out of nowhere. That'd be so cool. Like we could go on, at least in my opinion, I can go on like a whole episode talking about how I can envision an imaginary haunted house at Horror Nights.
For sure.
And honestly, I don't feel that way with every movies. I feel that way with certain movies. And like Savannah told me when we got out of the movie theaters, she's like, I didn't enjoy the movie, but I would enjoy it 10 times more in a haunted house. Which honestly, like I could say it is a very good review because it definitely could fit in a real life experience.
For sure, 100%. Like this, like you're saying, like there wasn't like, oh, well, this piece of the movie, this, I think from beginning to end, this movie has HHN written all over it, as far as all the rooms, all the different things you could pull from. Even that the creepy old lady, like she's got to be in there being creepy and everything.
Dude,
yeah,
screw that lady. Freaking what a bitch.
Exactly.
That's all we'll say. We won't spoil the rest of that, but I mean,
what Scott said.
What a lady.
Too much.
But I mean, I really did. I think that it has a huge potential.
For sure.
I don't see why it doesn't come to Horror Nights in the future, to be honest. Like the characters alone, you always look at HHN houses and you're like, does it have enough content? Does it have enough characters? And yes, there are plenty of characters. You could see a puppet with the spider, like you were saying. You have the puppets of Chauncey. Probably like a 4-legged stilt walker would work good too, because I think he does have 4 legs. No, he
well, when
he has very long arms. Yeah.
Well, when he turns into the creepy guy, the creepy bear, he does kind of like he's huge, and he kind of like slouches over, so it looks like he could be some kind of like stilt walker, or just how large he is when he gets creepy.
You could do the 4-legged stilt walker that we've seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, and the music, the soundtrack of the music, of the little toy spinning around, that could very also creepy. Work very good. And just my imagination, that one they used in the trailer. Like, imagine that slowed.
They use it very well. They use that song very well.
No, but imagine it slowed, like when you're in the queue or when you're walking in. That'd be so creepy. But
it definitely got creepy vibes in there.
I mean, speaking of Horror Nights, there was a post that got put out, and I think Jennifer on Instagram talked about this. But there was a post that got put out. Someone asking Murdy if there will be any repeats this year. John Murdy, creative director of HHN, and he said no direct repeats. So I want to get your take on that. Are you bummed about that, or are you just kind of like whatever?
No, I mean, honestly, I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, it's it. I mean, that got kind of like a shoulder shrug for me. It's like, okay, that's interesting, because it's all in his wording. The way I look at it too, he says no direct repeats.
Yeah, it could be a repeat, but just revamped.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was thinking too. Like, okay, well, maybe I'm just gonna take a maze that I let's just say Holidays in Hell.
Okay.
That could come, but it might not be a direct repeat. Could be revamped, something like that. So, Murdy, you gotta watch out with Murdy and the way he words things, because this isn't his first rodeo.
Yeah,
he's slick with his words. So he's not. He's not gonna give anything away unless he wants to give it away. So I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So, but that makes me think, like, okay, so are we gonna get something that's like a revamping, or is it just like legit nothing is gonna be a repeat period? So I shoulder shrug and I was like, all right, Murdy, I see you.
I think for me, I enjoy the repeats. And I was kind of against them in the beginning, but I enjoy them because I like seeing the favorite. It's not like Knott's where you see the same mazes every year, so you get to enjoy them and soak them in. Horror Nights, 1 year and they're gone. Now, bringing back the old classics is cool, and not only that, it saves money, so they can put more money into these houses that need higher production value, which I really enjoy. I do think that Murdy's onto something right there by saying no direct repeats. I think that he's just kind of playing with people, to be honest.
Right.
But I'm excited for Horror Nights this year. Construction started in the Mummy Queue, so that's exciting.
I saw that. I saw them clear it out, so I'm like, here we go. It's March, so
it's wild. And we didn't get an announcement in March last year, but the year before that we did. So we'll see, I guess, when we get our first announcement.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come. I mean, we all know March is like the time where the speculations start to ramp up, and we get, like you're saying, we get some setups, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna wait, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh, this is gonna come. Right. So we'll see.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, like what's going on with you, Rob? What do we got going on with the Howling Hour?
Oh man, well, I'm probably gonna head out. I'm gonna try and get out to Boysenberry Festival this Friday.
Right.
So I got that going on. Scream Break is gonna be happening. I'm not sure what weekend, but definitely gonna try and get out there sometime this month. Maybe the next comes out in 2 weeks, so probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Be out there. Hopefully, I'm out there with you.
Yeah, regardless, without speaking anything, we will be out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much, as of right now, it's pretty much it. Just kind of waiting around to see what's happening as far. We got some pop-up shops coming up, and Midsummer Scream, they're doing the tickets went on sale.
Lots of guests will be announced soon for Midsummer.
Yeah, so it's just we're gearing up. It's time to put it in first gear and start to head towards haunt season. So that's
it's
but more recent,
fast.
For sure. But more recent, I'll be at Boysenberry Festival. I can't wait to eat all the Boysenberry ice creams and drinks and sweets and snacks.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to follow us both on our social medias, but then on the Haunt Talk social media, because we've been doing more like short form content on there.
Yeah.
And Rob and I will be out at Scream Break together, so we're definitely going to film like some content there as well.
For sure.
On both our individual channels and then on the Haunt Talk one. So keep up with us. But yeah. I haven't showed this to like the audience. I know you can't see because I don't have my camera on, but my new tattoo right there.
Okay.
The camera skeleton one. I don't know how good it's showing on the camera. But
is it one of the pictures that you sent me, or did you get like more done to it?
No, that's the end result. I'll probably need to get it touched up soon, but there it is, everybody.
It makes me want a tattoo, but I'm afraid of needles.
You're young.
Yeah, I'm young. I can still get a tattoo.
But no, I've gotten a bunch. Like I got my arm done, my San Diego arm, like within the span of a year. But nice. I think I'm doing one more on the same spooky arm. It's gonna be the Bride of Frankenstein finally, with some lightning bolts around it. And then that'll be it for me for a little bit, because honestly, it is pain to sit through it, and also money. So
expensive.
But and then like you said, Midsummer Scream coming up. I'm really excited for Midsummer Scream because that's like the kickoff to haunt season.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But all right, everybody. Well, that was our show today. We just did kind of like a short show to kind of touch up and touch base with everybody on all the updates that have just come out and give our thoughts on Imaginary. Got anything else to say, Rob?
No, it was just my imagination.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks everyone for watching us and supporting. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys rock. You guys, the feedback's been incredible. So as always, subscribe to both of us, Exploring Attractions, The Howling Hour, and you can catch the rest of us on Haunt Talk. But as for today, peace out, everybody.